All right, so call the Osseo City Council meeting to order here on Monday, November 24th at 7 p.m. Roll call. Looks like all members are with us this evening. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I know, I just thought that serves us standing up too. All right, moving on. Approval of tonight's agenda.
So moved. Approval.
Okay, we got a motion by Councilmember Schultz to approve tonight's agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Harkoff. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes 5-0. All right, number 5, consent agenda. Any questions on that? If not, we look for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I've got a motion by Councilmember Torres to approve tonight's consent agenda, seconded by Councilmember Schultz. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Next is matters from the floor. Do we have any sheets for matters from the floor? Any other matters from the floor? Okay. Moving on. 7, special business. We'll make a little change in the fly here. Representative Hiltzley is not here, so we'll move 7B, Eagle Scout project presentation, and then we'll come back to her once she arrives.
Mayor, Council, we're going to have the Eagle Scout step on up, and he's going to give his presentation on what he did for the city of Osseo.
All right.
Hello, thanks for having me here. I'm Devin Goshaw. I'm a Life Scout from Boy Scout Troop 584. We are out of Crosswinds Church in Maple Grove, right next to the Boston Scientific, and I am here to thank you guys for allowing me to do my Eagle Scout project in your guys' town and giving you guys some details, so you're not just shocked when you guys drive past. Okay, so as you see on the pictures over there, that is the before of the Eagle Scout project. It looks a little rough, to be honest, like on a first glance. It's very like not visually appealing, if you want to move to the next one. And then that is the finished result. It is much more visually appealing and will hopefully protect the wood better for years to come. So I'll give you a short little explanation of what we did. So we scraped off all the old paint so that way when we painted on the new paint, it wouldn't chip and then you left with the same problem. So we scraped everything, then we primed the inside and the outside, and then we finished off by painting. We did this in 3 work days, each of them about 4 hours. We had an average of 10 people per work day, and then on the first work day, we scraped and primed the inside, and on the second work day, we scraped and primed the outside, and on the last one, we painted the inside and the outside. Some challenges with this were that some scouts are a little bit, how do I say this? Hard to keep focused because they are definitely like middle school boys, so it's hard to keep them focused for long. So keeping them focused and on task was definitely the most difficult thing about this. So thank you guys for allowing me to do this in your town. Do you have any questions about it?
Council, questions?
I don't have any questions, but I have a couple comments. I did receive a message from Public Works Director Waldbillig today. He's unable to be here with a family commitment, but he said to make sure that we thank you from him and tell him you did a very thorough job. He's very pleased with the quality of the work you did, and that the paint will last a long time. I'd also like to point out they did not use a paint sprayer for any of this. This was all brush roller. I mean, this was like guerrilla warfare on that thing. So, Devin, thank you. And I was pleased, I was knowing Devin and his family for quite some time, and when he was looking for the Eagle Scout project, I took it to the city of Osseo, and then from there he had to do everything, make the contacts and do all that stuff. So he did a great job, and it was especially rewarding to hear his comments about the difficulty getting young people to focus. We all know that. Now you do too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now you can appreciate what your parents have been through your whole life. So thank you.
Yeah.
And all your teachers, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for.
Mayor and Council, could we take a picture with our Eagle Scout?
Let's all come up here.
Oh, we don't want to take a picture of ourselves without you. That's weird. Just Photoshop you in later. Mom, get up and take pictures.
You're front and center. Just all kind of gathering behind
We're
you.
tall, so we go behind you. Wow, you're gonna button your whole shirt up. At least he's not wearing the Mad Cat t-shirt.
No Mad Cats today.
Perfect.
You don't have to sit through the rest of it, you can leave if you want.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
There we go. All right, we'll move on then to the budget presentation as we continue to wait here, so.
Okay, Mayor, Council, I'll be giving the budget discussion now. This is, again, I'm just going to reiterate that this will be very similar to a truth and taxation presentation, but tonight does not fall into what Hennepin County, as far as the days, number of days needed to have your truth and taxation before the end of the year. So today, I will be giving a budget discussion item, and you're going to see a lot of the same things next week on the 8th for the Truth and Taxation meeting. And that's typically where we have a public meeting to talk about our budget. So the budget discussion, we're here tonight to listen. We're not going to have public comments, but the proposed city portion of your total property tax for 2026. We are not here to discuss or defend the value of your property set by the Hennepin County Assessor. The comments tonight should focus, again, proposed city levy for 26. This will be adopted at the City Council December 8th, 2025. Again, you're going to hear these same things next meeting. What determines the city portion of your property tax? A, the change in value of the property as set by the Hennepin County Assessor, the change in the effective city tax rate caused by the overall tax levy and the value of your property. The legislative change to the market value exclusion affects the computation of net tax capacity for the first time in 2025. So what happens there is that the legislative change in the market value exclusion doubled just before in 2024 going into 2025. And so that'll be, again, it'll keep going forward and forward. And that's the exclusion for if you live in the home versus if you do not. So the net tax capacity of all properties in the city did go down by 1.49%. Property values are determined by the Hennepin County Tax Assessor. So
Go too far. There we go.
nope, that one.
There we go.
Right there. Change in property values for 25. Property values are determined by the Hennepin County Tax Assessor. For taxes payable in 2015 through 2024, most residential properties in Osseo have increased significantly in value. For taxes payable in 2025 and 2026, the net capacity for residential properties has leveled off. There's a little bit of a decrease is also a result of changes in state tax law. The cause of the increase or decrease in property value is the actual single-family residential sales that occurred in Osseo. When residential properties are being sold at higher prices, overall property values increase, which in turn increases the taxes payable by all properties. So this is where it shows the graph. Next one, please. The average residential property values continued up in 2024 at a record high, leveling off in 25 with a 1.1% decrease. And then things have started to go down as far as just residential property values. We won't know all of these overalls until the actual year. So, next one. The change in city tax capacity rate. The preliminary tax levy shows an increase in the tax rate from 2025 of 69.96 to 2026 79.79. This is an increase of 14.05%. The City Council Budget and Finance Committee and staff have worked since September 30th to reduce the budget to the total that you see this evening, the general fund budget expenditures, and that would have been at our work session. So if you watched the work session or saw the work session, that's what you would have seen. They've been reduced by $142,555, and the tax levy has been reduced by $238,556. If this lower general fund budget and levy are approved, you will have a lower city portion property tax payment payable in 2026 than your current proposed tax statement letter shows. So those letters that you received here in the last couple of weeks would be lower by quite a bit. The net tax capacity rate has been reduced from a preliminary increase of 14.05 to the final proposed tax levy increase of 2.33. That is what was proposed at tonight's work session. Again, that could change depending on what gets resolved. There are a couple outstanding things. Next. So again, here's some of the different things that we talked about at the work session, but just wanted to talk about here at the council meeting. So what's changed between September 30th and it's not December 8th, but today even? The general fund revenue budget for 2026 is increased by $116,000, primarily from the redistribution of tax increment revenues from the decertification of TIF districts 2.6 and 2-6 and 2-8. The expenditure reductions in the general fund include several items totaling $142,555. The proposed 2026 expenditure budget includes reduction in employee benefits totaling slightly more than $75,000. The city has changed providers for medical, dental, short-term, long-term, and life insurance. The additional public safety position has been moved back from a starting date of July 1. The start date was originally in September for May 1 and results in savings of over $15,000. This past week, the city was notified the League of Minnesota Insurance Trust that workman's comp and property insurance rates would be reduced for 2026, resulting in a savings of about $20,000. Individual line items were further reviewed, resulting in $38,500 in additional reductions. Next. So if we look at the last, so in 2014, it was 76.99. What this is your tax capacity rate. So that is a percentage of the total amount of tax that could be levied in the city of Osseo. So in 2014, it was 7699. You can see then it started to go down. And then with some additional full FTEs within the police department and now with Public Works, that tax capacity has gone up. In 2026 currently would be at 71.59. And that's up that 2.33% from 69.96. So again, where are our property tax dollars going? If you look at your property tax bill, you'll start to see what the difference breakdown. You can find that on a website with Hennepin County. If you look up Hennepin County property tax and look at your actual home, you can use a map or put in your address. That'll give you what your tax breakdown is for different parts of your tax bill. So the median valued Osseo single-family home is $267,700. In 2025, the city of Osceo's portion of your tax dollars was $1,820.70. The proposed budget currently is up to $1,857.92. And as you go through, you can see where your tax dollars for Hennepin County, they're looking at about a 7% increase. The school district, again, up, and other are some of the watersheds and different things that go up to $217 for the year. And so you can see it's about a total of an 8.87%, but those are all broken down by different areas within the taxing districts. And if you look, sorry, can you go back one? If you look at how it's set up, you can see the different percentages. The city of Osseo is about 39% of your overall tax bill. And then it's split with Hennepin County, the independent school district, and then others. Okay, next. So these are some of your this would be an example of a residential property tax statement. And so if you look at, there's 2024, 2025, and 2026 listed in here. And so if you look at that taxable market value on a $292,000 house in 2024, you can see that the taxable market value is $281,000. Well, then if you look at in 2025, that same house went down 20,000. And again, these are some of the differences where houses have come down. In 2026, there's the estimated market value of 280,800. You get your homestead exclusion. You can see from 24 to 25, it did double. And then it gives you your final taxable market value. So if in 2026, it'd be $259,000. So if you look there, it's had the percentage, so the city tax capacity rate, and that was at 79.79 at our initial September rate. And that would have had a tax bill of 2,070.73. The proposed would be currently at a 71.59% rate, which would be $1,857.92. So that saved or cut down $212.81. So a change from final 2025 levy, so that in 2025 you would have paid $1,817.90, and in 2026 would have been $1,857.92. So it's a difference for the year of $37.22, or a $3.10 cost per month for this current budget. Next. This would be something similar, of just a little bit different home. Again, that 280,800. Again, for this year, it'd be a $37.22 and it'd be a $50 difference. So it's $269,000 home in the city of Osseo. Again, it would be a difference of $50.58 from 25 to 2026. That'd be an average cost per month in 2026 of $4.22. Next. Here's a $241,000 home. Again, the rate was a change of $61.58 at the 2.33%, and that's a $5.13 per month change. Is there any questions or comments from council, or just on this right now?
Yep. So, I mean, a lot of hard work went into getting this down. I want to give staff huge amount of thanks. One of the biggest things that, just a normal is that when staff went out for employee benefits, they actually looked out into the open market as opposed to just sticking with the traditional city-run type of stuff. And so I want to say thank you for that, because that resulted in a significant cost difference, while, as we made last year, increasing the benefits for the employees. So adding into that and increasing employee satisfaction and hopefully longevity. But as we've talked about before, there's still some pending stuff out there. We're working on a couple of other deals that hopefully when we come back, that 2.3 could actually be lower. I also want to thank the mayor as well, because I think I figured out we're probably 15 plus hours into just working on this on the behalf of the citizens here. And so, we all have busy schedules, and, we figured out a way to make it work, to get together and just keep banging away and banging away and banging away at this. And, city staff deserves a lot of the credit, because some of the different activities that they did were we've never done before, and got the city staff involved at the very minutia of the budget, and they just did a wonderful job. So thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to echo those sentiments. Thank you to staff. Thank you to Gary. Thank you to everybody that, we asked you to roll up your sleeves, and you did. So thank you.
And it wasn't that we really had to roll up our sleeves near as much as the fact that we had so much stuff that was just uncertain when we passed the preliminary, as is often the case, just because of timing and health insurance and all that other kind of stuff. So it's, we made a promise to you guys that we would come back with something significantly different, and we hope that we got your satisfaction from the process.
Yep, a little bit more work to do before we get there. Anything else? If not, I see Representative Hiltzley's in the house, so we'll get our legislative priorities. Welcome.
Welcome, Madam Representative.
Mr. Mayor, I just want to introduce a little bit. So obviously, our state representative, Hulda Hiltzley, is here to visit us tonight.
And I asked her just to come here and have a little bit of time with all of you, more of a informational, conversational kind of session to talk about the different ways in which we can work together, as that's a big goal for all of us. So I would just ask, provide any feedback that you have on the legislative priorities or things that you might want us to shift around at all. And then if you have any questions about the process for the local option sales tax, or anything else to say about the bonding request that we are putting forward for 2026. So I will hand it off to Ms. Hiltsley.
So much. Good afternoon to the council, to the mayor, evening, and to the residents. Thank you so much for having me. It's always good to be here, especially on a Monday night. I feel like that's when I'm the most busiest. So I had to drop off one kid here and then run over here, but I had to make it here to be with all of you guys. First of all, I want to again acknowledge the mayor, the council members, and the staff for all the work that you continue to do here in Osseo. And also for the meeting, the priority meeting that you all organized for me and the senator for this district, kind of outlining what, Alicia has talked about, the priorities for the legislative session. And my goal ultimately is to make sure that I am ready to go come February 17th. That's when the session kicks up again. It's a lesson learned from this year, because I realized that if you're not ready to go, then, your bills, the work that has to go into those bills, it puts it into jeopardy in terms of making sure that we have enough support. Not only making sure that the bill is ready to go, but also getting enough support from the other legislators to have it passed, not only in the House, but also in the Senate. So with that, I want to also extend my appreciation, especially to the residents who've continuously reached out to me directly to share concerns. One of the concerns, obviously, as all of you are aware, is the 1%, tax levy that you guys are discussing, and the residents especially have really expressed concern about that. So for me, it's about being a partner to not only the residents but also to the council in regards to how do we work together to make sure that the voices of the residents are also heard. And then also, another topic that came up as I'm having conversations with residents, it's the number of police officers needed relative to the population of the size of the city. And this is a conversation that I'll continue having with you, because I definitely want to understand the context behind that and the needs of the city as well. A lot of times we sit here and we see something. If we don't understand the context of it, it's just assumptions that we are making. And I definitely, for my own personal process, I would love to have more conversations with the council and the staff around that as well, so that when I'm out here having conversations with residents, I have enough information to pull from. And then, so I definitely want to thank all of you for your engagement and willingness to communicate openly. So going back to, again, the legislative priorities, for 2026, for me, the goal is to engage early enough so that by February 17th, we have a really strong a bill that I can present at the Capitol and champion that bill. And that obviously is around the $1.6 million that the city needs around, Central Avenue, I believe. Let me see here. And
And then it's a roof at Public
yes,
Works and
Public
roof
Works
repairs
building and
at this
City
building.
Hall, right? Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I from the other projects, bonding projects that I'm working on as well, 1.6 is not bad. But then if you look at the politics behind the politics, now that I'm in it, we want to make sure that we are, we have a solid bill. And that means working with all of you, the staff, the council, to make sure that as we are working on this, the wording is correct. And that takes time. We can definitely utilize all the resources that, are accorded to my office to make sure that we provide you guys with the support that you need to make sure that we are ready to go come February 16th. 16th, yeah. So for me, honestly, I want to continue to have conversations around the long-term projects as well. It's not just the 1.6. I think, with the uniqueness of Osseo, especially when I look around, and this is probably one of the oldest city hall buildings that I have seen, it's going to take some serious funding to make sure that we bring this building up to code, and that's a long-term conversation that we need to have. But For 2026, I definitely want to focus on that bonding bill. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough time for me to petition for the bonding committee to come here to Osseo, because I think it really, because they went to a couple of projects within my district, but we weren't. I didn't feel like we were ready yet to come here and to have them see firsthand. And so I'm excited to bring this up to the chairs, the co-chairs of the bonding bill, and say, hey, we're not asking for much. We're just asking for 1.6. And obviously give or take. By the time everything's said and done, we can adjust that accordingly. So that's the goal for me, to petition the bonding committee to make sure that at least, if not the chair, a couple of the members on the committee come here and have a conversation with all of you guys to really get an idea of why this is important for this city. So ultimately, my objective is to obviously be a partner, a collaborator with the city of Osseo, and with the residents to champion the needs and the issues that are really forefront for the city of Osseo. And to make sure that, we ensure that our decisions is grounded in data, the reality of the situation, not only here in Osseo, but also the capital. There's a lot that goes on there that an average citizen is not privy to. So definitely supporting the city navigating that and rooted in community that reflects the priorities of Osseo residents. So those conversations, sometimes they might not be easy to have. There's times where I'm going to have to ask you guys to be honest with me whether my thought process in all of this is accurate. If there's something that I am championing that doesn't align with what the city and the residents are needing, I'm always open and welcome to listen. And so I appreciate some of you on the council who've reached out directly to me and definitely had those conversations with me. So thank you once again for your leadership in this. This is a partnership, and the more you get to know me, the more you'll know that I am here to work for you. I'm here to fight as much as I can, and to make sure that I'm a partner instead of telling you this is possible, this is not possible, but to really look at the reality of the decisions that we are making and making sure that I am straightforward and honest about what it is like at the Capitol, whether or not we're able to accomplish that, or how do we tweak it to make sure that we achieve the ultimate goal. Whether those are compromises that we have to make as a city, to at least meet the main goal, I'm definitely open to having those conversations. So with that, thank you so much, and please reach out anytime. I'm fairly open, and I think for the most part, Alicia, you've worked with me long enough to know that I'm here to serve. That's the purpose of why I got into this work, and I'm open to having conversations. Thank you.
Council?
Mr. Mayor, I want to just acknowledge some of what the representative had to say. From an accessibility standpoint, you're the most accessible representative that I've ever worked with here. She's given me really good access to her. She might live to regret that, but it's great. She returns calls in a timely fashion, as does the senator as well. But she's not here, so we're just going to talk about you. But we really appreciate your guidance through this, to your earlier points about getting this stuff wrapped up, ready to go. Earlier bills have a much better chance of getting heard. Later bills and disorganization pushes us back, and all of a sudden there's just no way to go. So I definitely want to, give you some props for the work that you've done on behalf of us, for the leadership that you've provided to the city with how to speak legislator. And because that's a big deal. And that's really, honestly, nothing that we've really been successful at up until the last year and a half or so. So thank you so much for everything that you've done for the residents. And I actually believe the fact that you're going to continue to fight to the maximum that you can to try to advocate for our residents here. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other comments? All right. Thank you for coming in. All right, moving on. 7D, Lieutenant Kinsey graduation.
Okay, Mayor, Council, I just wanted to have a little moment here with Lieutenant Kinsey.
Should we leave?
Huh?
You want us to leave?
No, you're fine. But this is for the Northwestern Center of Public Safety School of Police Staff and Command, which is one of the premier educational areas in law enforcement to talk about management leadership education. This is something that I think the other one that's close to that is the FBI Academy, which is this is it's on the same level. This was a 11-week course.
10 weeks with 1 week off.
Okay, 10-week course. They talked about all kinds of areas of concern, from budgeting to statistics, which he said really was horrible. Leadership, staffing, all of those issues within law enforcement. And I think it was a great achievement for him to graduate about, what, 97? 97.8% efficiency on his paperwork and his, he wasn't 100%, but he did really well. And
Statistics got me.
did it? Yeah, I suppose. But we wanted to just recognize him for his time and energy, and that he was able to take the time because of how our department is to get away to get this type of education. I think it's super important for our leaders to have education and get leadership training, which we haven't been able to always do with our current, with staffing issues within the department. What I'd like to do is we'll answer any questions or anything for Todd, but I'd like to take a picture. We've got his plaque here that they gave him. The mayor and I did attend his graduation, which was quite interesting. The pageantry of it was quite I don't know. It was heartwarming to see, because you don't see law enforcement get together except for a funeral, and this was kind of along those lines. It was really interesting to see all the chiefs and sheriffs and upper management, supporting their coworkers and their staff to get this education. So I thought it was really neat. So any questions or comments?
Good job.
Yeah, congratulations.
Well done.
Okay. Do you mind if we take a picture with him with his? Do you want to say anything, or you good?
I guess, oh, he wants to talk now. Hang on, Nick, come back. He wants to talk.
You can still button your shirt.
Yeah, you can still button your shirt. It's okay.
No, I just really like to thank everybody, the council, for approving me to go to this training. It was difficult. It's been like 30 years since I've been in school. So having to write papers again and take tests was like, it was a blast from the past, and it was a crash course that I won't forget, but I weathered through it. So I also want to thank Chief Michelson for allowing me to go, and I know me being gone for 11 weeks was probably hard on him, having to pick up the slack that I had to do when he was gone. So that's big. But through this course, I got to meet 25 other cohorts that are also in the same position I am, and now I have a whole Rolodex full of names and numbers I can call anytime if I need help. So those relationships are going to be huge and beneficial in the future. So everything I learned, I think it's going to be beneficial for the city, not just for me, but it's going to be things I learned are going to be applied to the job to benefit the city. So I'm really grateful for this opportunity. And in fact, one of my cohorts actually just got promoted to be the new police chief of Eagan, Minnesota. So proud of him too. So it's one big family, and I'm glad that this experience happened. So thank you.
Thank you.
Covering up the cat.
Come on up.
And I leave my door card didn't work anymore.
Lots of changes happened while you were gone. Cameras, door codes, all kinds of stuff. Thank you.
Thank you again for coming. Thank you. Thank you.
Should have heard the groaning while he was going.
Thank you.
7E, Mini Dazzle Special Event Permit.
Mayor, council, this is the Osseo Mini Dazzle. I'm not sure what year it is, but it's been several. A community holiday celebration. It's Friday, December 5th from 6 p.m. till 8 p.m. This is the special event permit. It's being run by the Osseo Fire Department. And everybody's looked it over. It's the same event that we've had for several years, which is great. And this is just asking the council to approve the permit.
All right, look for a motion to approve.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I would like to make a motion to approve the Mini Dazzle special event permit.
Okay, I got a motion by Councilmember Cook to approve the Mini Dazzle Special Event Permit. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Schultz. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes 5-0. All right, number 8, public hearings. No public hearings this evening. Number 9, old business. 9A, 1% local option sales tax.
Mayor, council, assistant city administrator will take over. It says Natalie in front of you, but
Oh, funny. No, that's not me. I'm Alicia Vickerman. I'll make sure I get that changed out here. So Mayor and Council, tonight we're going to talk about just the continued discussion around the proposed 1% local option sales tax that would be to fund several capital improvement projects, and how we structure those submissions to the legislature. I'll walk through the projects and then the options we have for structuring those resolutions. So starting out back at November 10th meeting, this item was tabled to give the council time to review a broader set of projects. And since then, we've received some clarification on how projects must be structured under state law. There's some changes made in 2021, so some of the examples we had from other communities have changed a little bit. The biggest change is that each building or series of park improvements counts as a separate project with separate ballot questions. So as a reminder, the projects that we have been looking at putting forward are the site park improvements. That would be to play structures, sports facilities, and public spaces. And then the next group of projects are all under the city campus improvements. So that is Boorboom Park expansion and exterior improvements, Boorboom Park Community Center and indoor facility for youth and senior programming, civic events, and community gatherings, as well as the City Hall renovations to create a healthy, energy-efficient building, and which also houses a branch of the Hennepin County Library. So to talk about the structure, Site Park is a geographic separate location, therefore must be a separate ballot question for a sales tax. City Hall renovation, also a separate building, not connected to Boorboom Park, so it must be its own project. The community center could either be integrated with the overall Boorboom Park expansion project, or it could just be a standalone building on its own. So that brings us to the options. You could do either a 3 or a 4 project resolution. The 3 project structure would be Boorboom Park. We're kind of calling this community hub. So that would be the park, including the community center, and then City Hall and Site Park. The pro of doing 3 questions is that it's a little bit more streamlined, and it emphasizes integration of the community center into the park. The con is that legislature must confirm that the integration is acceptable. However, the documentation that we have at this point, being that both of those items are in the park and would ultimately be designed around each other, that those would qualify. It looks pretty likely that those would qualify as something we could lump under one question. The other option then would be to have Boorboom Park improvements, community center, City Hall, and Site Park as all individual separate ballot questions. The pro is that that's clear compliance with statute. But the con is that it might risk that some voters approve some projects and there would be a lack of cohesive design overall. So we have prepared 2 possible resolutions for you to discuss tonight. We would just ask you to discuss the pros and cons, and if you want to move forward with one of those 2 options, we can answer questions about those.
All right, thank you. Council questions?
Sure.
Yep.
I tend to, just on initial reading and going through things, and I tend to lean more towards option 1, creating the Bourbon Park Community Hub project as one question. But I would be interested to hear others, if there are others that have strong feelings the other way as to why that would be. So.
Mr. Mayor,
Yep.
so I don't have strong feelings the other way. I actually would concur. I think option 1 makes the most sense. I think if this goes in front of the legislature, option 1 is better. It's easier to understand. It's very clear. It's concise. With that coming from corporate, I used to hate acronyms. I seriously hate this acronym. I think it's actually misleading. There's nothing lost about doing this at all. I think it actually puts a negative connotation on this. So not that that's really here or there, but I just don't think of this as lost. Think of this as found. This is found money that can help keep property taxes down. So, but I would support definitively number 1.
Comments?
Mr. Mayor.
Yep.
I mean, I'm okay with either one. I know that the second resolution was kind of a response to the conversation at the last council meeting. I'm okay with either, but, since we already have a tie going towards the first one, I'm in support of that. It's really important too, because as I've heard questions and comments from people relative to this, it's really important to continue to add context to the fact that we've been repetitively asked to find additional funding measures for these projects. I mean, countless times over, my tenure here of, 13, 15 years, I don't know, whatever it is. And looking at it, it's entirely possible that at some point in time, these projects will become a priority of additional future councils, which then leave it nothing other than for us to do the revenue inside, whether it be from some additional creative revenue that we had or just straight property taxation. This gives a chance to give a reprieve and let people that are here to enjoying these amenities help us pay for some of this. Definitely no doubt in my mind that this does have some regional significance to it. And ultimately, this is a decision that the residents of the community get to make. How many times have we heard criticism, oh, you guys are gonna do this again, or you're gonna do that again, or whatever. This is a time for people to step up and be partners. And specifically on the parks and areas like that, there was a time back in the day where if we even mentioned parks, we'd probably be trying to think of the analogy that I would like to use, but I probably won't use tonight, but it would not be pleasant. And there's a lot more, as I'm looking through the community, there's a lot more younger families moving in that can benefit from this. There was a time earlier this year, we had, I don't know, probably 6, 7 properties that were for sale here. We have one house currently for sale in Osseo, as referenced in Zillow, and one house that is, and then one multifamily tenant building. So definitely people are still moving here. They appreciate the things that we've done here. They appreciate the amenities that our community has to offer. And I just look forward to, it's never a great time. The only probably meeting that's gonna be worse than this is gonna be when we're gonna approve the final budget, even though we worked a lot on it. It's never great of us taking money out of people's pockets. This gives us a reprieve from that, and I think it's really important, and I appreciate staff and legislators helping us to at least come up with this proposal. Next steps, we get it to the legislature. If we can get it there, then it goes on the ballot for authorization. So I'm in support of number 1.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, it's, if you don't take the steps now, you can't put it in the hands of the voters. I mean, ultimately, what it comes down to.
Mr. Mayor?
Yep.
Actually, I defer, like, if Councilmember Hardkoff would like to say anything before I make a motion.
I would also support option one.
And with that, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the resolution supporting the authority to impose a local sales tax to fund specific capital improvements, providing regional benefit, identifying 3 projects: Board Boom Park Community Hub Project, City Hall Renovations Project, and the Site Park Project.
Got a motion by Councilmember Torres to adopt the resolution supporting the 3 project proposal. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Schultz. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Attorney Teachin.
Thank you, Mayor. This is resolution number 62. Councilmember Schultz.
Aye.
Councilmember Cook.
Aye.
Councilmember Torres.
Aye.
Councilmember Hardkoff.
Aye.
Mayor Poppy.
Aye, motion passes 5-0. All right, 10, new business. 10A, Voyager Cannabis Service Contract.
Mayor, council, so we're, tonight here, we're working with Voyager Cannabis. Now, we're gonna talk about a consulting agreement to kind of start moving the ball down the road, because we do have some things we have to work out on the other end when it comes to this whole project of having a retail store, municipal cannabis retail store. So these agreements will cover consulting services, operations of the municipal cannabis retail store, build out of the physical space, financial accounting, audit, and insurance requirements. And the reason that we're splitting the agreements is to create an official professional services relationship now to keep this process moving forward. This is something that we talked about for some time. It's time now to sign on the dotted line and start walking this road together rather than separate. And this also makes sure that Voyager is in for the ride. The attached agreement primarily addresses the consulting services provided by Voyager and provides a roadmap of the future agreements between the city and Voyager, namely an agreement with Voyager affiliated entity that will provide for the construction and build out of the physical space, an agreement that will include specific practices and protocols related to financial and operations matters, such as setting budgets, making expenditures, audit and financial oversight, specific insurance provisions covering the physical space and the workers. The agreement, the current one, establishes $5,000 per month fee for services provided prior to opening the retail store. Voyager has proposed that once operations commence, the monthly management fee should be $5,000 per month plus 9%, but those are also something we can talk about of gross revenues. But the total monthly fee cannot exceed 10% of gross revenues. That's set by the state of Minnesota. The agreement excludes the 9% of gross revenues proposal to provide flexibility when negotiating the financial matters agreement, and that'll be where we really get into the day-to-day operations and workflow of having this municipal cannabis retail store. The 10% of gross revenue cap remains to comply with reporting requirements, so like the state of Minnesota requires that we cannot have any more than that. And so I would like to open this up for council for questions. Again, this is an approve the service contract with Voyager Cannabis, is what staff's recommending for tonight.
Council questions?
Mr. Mayor,
Yep.
I just would like to say on behalf of Cannabis Committee, I think that I'm really excited about moving forward with Voyager. I think that I'm excited about what the opportunities that this partnership is going to bring to our city. I think that there's been a lot of dialogue back and forth about what this needs to look like. And how this is going to work moving forward. I think there's been extensive work done to make sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, and on all parties involved on both sides, to make sure that this is a positive, healthy, functioning relationship. And so I have my unwavering support about moving forward with a service contract with Voyager Cannabis. Based on just the amount of legwork that's been done to get this thing right.
Mr. Mayor?
Yep.
echo a lot of Councilmember Cook's comments. Yeah, it's been years worth making, and kind of goes to a previous point I made tonight, which is, you know, is it my ideal situation to enter into competitive with private business? No, but the resources that this could provide to our community, even if it's marginally successful, could be very significant. This thing here has changed within the last couple weeks. I mean, as the Office of Cannabis Management continues to change their mind, and well, we're going to go this way, and we're going to go this way. You know, initially when they passed the law, we were supposed to get a part of the original sales tax that was generated by this. That's no longer a thing. That's being held in-house. You know, allowing to do a percentage of that is also an incredibly motivating part of this agreement because, I mean, let's face it, everybody wants to make money. So that really puts us in a great position. To have Voyager come alongside of us and stay the course through all these changes has been significant. You know, the partnerships that we get with Voyager and other affiliated companies are, bar none, huge. When we started talking about this several years ago, I've had the opportunity to meet with several different municipalities surrounding a lot of this stuff and really advocating for any of the partners. And there's a lot more people that are looking at this now for the exact same reasons, which is to help augment the revenue stream to the community to take the burden off the taxpayers. Whether you agree with the sales of cannabis or not, it's a thing that the state put onto us, and I think it is very good that we have done all this work, sometimes very frustrating work, but I think it's a good idea that we've done everything here to get to this point tonight. And I am really looking forward to seeing what we can do with this. You know, it's been lots of back and forth. You know, the attorneys are probably more than happy to get this done. You know, every day there's something different. So, but I just want to thank Patrick from Voyager, who's in the house. I want to thank Mary and Joe for their continued work. Thank the staff for all the different questions and moving stuff, and basically I'm the only person that was part of this process from the beginning and dealing with me, because that's not always easy, as you all know. But I just really excited to see what could happen here. You know, I'm just excited that we finally were able to choose a location. We've got some really fun, potentially partnerships coming along with that as well in addition. So I definitely think that I'm in favor of moving ahead with the service contract, and then that'll just set us up to get this thing moving. You know, this is the first step to getting the building, to getting this stuff open, so let's get her done.
Mayor, sorry, can I ask one? I just want to, Mayor, Council, I just want to say one thing. I think 4 of us went to the Anoka Cannabis, kind of looked at their retail location. Did you find that to be helpful? Was it kind of interesting to listen and see, at least, what it looks like?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Definitely. So I found some things that I think are paramount. There's some different things that I didn't necessarily like, but we can take that into consideration when we go through our build out and get all that stuff done. So
staff found it very helpful to see and just kind of actually feel like what that looks like, and the difference between us and Anoka with having staff actually hired versus using a contractor. I think we're both doing it a little bit different than each other, but we're still both leading the way and probably going to be fairly early on in the process. So we really appreciate that.
Okay, with that, would someone like to make a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I would like to make a motion to approve the service contract with Voyager Cannabis.
Okay, got a motion by Councilmember Cook to approve the service contract with Voyager. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Torres. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank
welcome
you.
aboard.
All right, 10B, Data Storage Sharing and Governance Agreement.
Mayor, Council, this is more of a update to what we've already approved within the city. On 9/25/2023, the Osseo City Council approved the original data storage sharing agreement. This agreement allowed the Osseo Police Department to move its data from a cloud server with a vendor to a static server at South Lake Minnetonka Police Department. We share information in a group called LMAC. There are 12 different agencies that we had been sharing data with for many years. At the time of the original agreement, Hennepin County Sheriff's Office was not included. Now the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office wants to come back to the LMAC group. This agreement will include the Sheriff's Office and the data sharing, and that's kind of what we're asking for tonight, is just an update to that data sharing contract that we've already fulfilled.
Questions, council? Now we'll look for a motion.
Hearing no conversation, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to approve the data storage, sharing, and governance agreement.
I got a motion by Councilmember Schultz to approve the data storage, serving, and sharing governance agreement. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Harkoff. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes 5-0. All right, 10C. We're going to go to a closed session to approve the contract with LELS Local 182 for law enforcement services. So I'd need a motion to convene the council meeting to a closed session.
So moved.
Okay, I got a motion by Councilmember Schultz. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilmember Cook. I think that's non-debatable. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes 5-0. We're going to close session at 7:56. We open the meeting.
So moved.
Okay, I got a motion by Councilmember Schultz. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Cook. Okay, non-debatable. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The meeting is now back in session at 8:22. So, per Minnesota statute, section 13D.05, the council entered into a closed session to discuss the contract with LELS Local 182 for the law enforcement service contract for years 2026 through 2028. And would someone like to make a motion in regards to that contract?
So move.
What are you moving?
Oh, I thought somebody.
You're gonna move or what?
I'm going to move.
George is out.
Ears are playing tricks.
Motion to,
You could have a motion to approve. So move what? So,
Okay. I would like to, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract with LELS for law enforcement services for years 2026 through 2028 inclusive.
okay, we got a motion by Councilmember Torres to approve the contract with LELS for the service years of 2026 through 2028. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Harkoff. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes 5-0. All right, 10D, approve accounts payable. Any questions on that? Now we look for a motion.
Motion to approve the bills.
Okay, we've got a motion by Councilmember Schultz to approve tonight's accounts payable. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Harkoff. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Administrator report. Mr. Michelson.
Mayor, council, I just want to say thank you for all the hard work this was a lot of items on a council agenda and all the hard work that's gone on behind the scenes by all of you to direct staff and help us work through a lot of these different issues that were coming up. Budgeting to contracts to 1% to Voyager Cannabis. I mean, we had a lot on this council agenda, and there's a lot of work behind the scenes, and I just want to say I truly appreciate all the back and forth and all the work that goes on from all of you to guide us staff. I'd also just, again, like to say thank you to Lieutenant Kinsey for putting in the time and energy at his staff and command school, and that's all I have as a report.
Assistant City Manager Vickerman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to report that City Clerk Natalie Santillo and I went last week on the 18th to the MCFOA regional meeting in Rogers. We attended workshops on para, election updates, parliamentary procedure and minutes, as well as gambling permits. There's some yoga stuff in there too, but I didn't think you guys were interested in that. So the event was held at the 21st Century Bank Event Center in Rogers. So I was able to connect with city staff there and gain some really important insights into what kind of the end results of a local option sales tax, what that can look like all the way at the end. So it was very interesting and to tour that space and to get some time with other city staff people. So if anyone's interested, I highly recommend. You can look up the 21st Century Bank Event Center in Rogers. That was partially funded through the 1%, and then also, if you notice the park that building sits on, it's a memorial park. They had a splash pad added to one area too, so it's kind of an interesting, different idea. So it's kind of a reimagining of a park. So I think it's a pretty cool concept they came up with. So check out their website and you can go see that. Other than that, happy Thanksgiving, and that's all I've got.
Thank you. Council and Attorney's Report, Attorney Teaching.
I just, as long as we're doing some kudos, I just wanted to do a quick shout out to my colleague Joe Sathy, who kind of took the laboring oar on all this cannabis stuff with Voyager and drafting the contract. And I know there's still a lot of work to be done on it, but it was a really important first step. And I just wanted to acknowledge that. I was behind the scenes as well, but he's kind of our expert in this area. So I just appreciate all the work that he put into that.
Thank you. Councilmember Markoff.
I'd like to again thank our Budget and Finance Committee, Mayor Poppy, Councilmember Schultz, Shane, and all the city staff for the hard work they did at getting our tax rate down as low as they have. I think it's pretty impressive. And also wish everyone a happy and safe Thanksgiving.
Councilmember Torres.
First, I'd like to, again, congratulate the LT on successfully finishing the school. Awesome way to go. Also, want to thank Gary and the staff and the department heads for really kind of knuckling down and getting those line items down and, finding a very, very positive outcome when it comes to our tax levy, which, has been in the news. So with that said, respectfully, I'd also like to add that I sincerely hope KSTP, as well as the other news organizations that had found it fit to report on our preliminary, and again, that was preliminary tax levy numbers, will now follow up with the rest of the story and report what is now the adjusted numbers that we said we were going to work on. And now those numbers are less than 3%. It's my belief that when one sounds the alarm, they then have a responsibility to sound the all clear. And I think with this number, this is definitely an all clear. In the initial reports, I personally was quoted as saying, this is the final number. This is not the final number. There's more work to be done. And then that seemed to be the end of my quote. So I sincerely hope, and again, this is with all due respect, I hope that the media now quotes me as saying, the work has been done, and we did reduce the levy down from where it was, dropped it better than 9%, and we're less than 3%. So thank you.
Councilmember Cook.
Just echo the thoughts of everybody on the work that's been done. I really appreciate it. I know the constituents appreciate it, or at least many that I talked to did. And congratulations to Lieutenant Kinsey. I think that's a really cool thing that can't go unmentioned, and that's a ton of work. As a son of a former police officer, I know how much training is involved and how much additional training can help a community, and so I'm just grateful for him and the sacrifices that he made to take the time to go do that is not always easy. Going back to school as a grown-up is something I've done a couple times, and it sucks. It's not fun. But it's hard, trying to balance grown-up life with schoolwork. And so for him to be able to make that kind of a commitment and follow through with it is pretty awesome. So with that, I yield.
Councilmember Schultz.
So I got a couple things. I recently had the opportunity as a guest of a local realtor to attend the Rogers Mayor's Prayer Breakfast, which was great. I got to sit with my good friend Mayor Click over in Rogers. Known her for a long time, and it's great to see some of the exciting stuff that they're doing over there and just be able to celebrate and bring together the community to just be able to celebrate and really just kind of lift up the other areas. It's one of the things that, as you get into this for a long time, you do get those contacts in neighboring communities, and they're really valuable, as we've mentioned several times today. Having other people out there to bounce ideas off has always been great. I also want to commend staff and council for all their hard work this year, specifically as we're dealing with the cannabis stuff, as we're dealing with the budget, as we're dealing with the contract. I've said it before, I'll say it again. We've accomplished more in the last year and a half, I think, than probably, the last decade, for sure. So thank you very much for that. I also like to end by wishing everybody a happy Thanksgiving here next week. And then also wish everybody success and lots of family time and enjoyment as we kick off this year's holiday season for all the different holidays that people celebrate from this part through the end of the year. So.
All right, well, thank you. Yep, and don't forget Mini Dazzle next weekend. So, and Small Business Saturday, this Saturday. So put those on your calendars. A couple other general announcements. If you're interested in becoming more involved in the city government, Osseo is seeking interested people to serve on the local boards and commissions. Economic Development Authority, 6-year term, 1 position. Public Safety Advisory Committee, 2-year term, 2 positions are available on that. Planning Commission, 3-year term, 2 positions are available. Park and Rec Committee, 3-year term, 1 position. Historical Preservation Committee, 3-year term, there's 4 positions available on that. So, city values leadership from service-minded individual citizens interested in filling these positions should ask to submit a letter or a statement of interest containing their name, address, phone number, email address, and any other pertinent background information. If you'd like additional information about these duties and committees, please visit osceomn.gov. Please send your letter of interests by December 30th, 2025 to the Osseo City Clerk, Natalie Santillo, here at City Hall, 415 Central Avenue. So, and with that, moving on for adjournment.
Motion adjourned.
Okay, got a motion by Councilmember Schultz. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Harkoff. Non-debatable. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes 5-0. We're adjourned at 8:33.